2, 1. Mr. Speaker, ladies and gentlemen, Nobel Prize winners Acemoglu and Robinson had their statement or thesis statement about how economic realities are derived from political conflict. We think that shows us how the field of economics is derived from the actors and decisions of society and not from arbitrary and objective, random, numerical figures and data. The data, which we agree with to be objective and quantitative, is a function of human behavior and decisions and actions, and not the other way around. A couple of reasons why their side cannot take this debate. The first is, at best, side opposition proves and spends a lot of time giving examples of something true which we don't necessarily contend with, which is ultimately uncomparative to the spirit of the motion that we have to do. Yes, objective metrics like data, math, science, econometrics, all these models are important, but we think, as what we preempted from the top of our speech, it's really a matter of what we want to prioritize. It's not like a binary thing of objective, subjective only, natural science, social science, because of course there's a blend of these two, but we're saying that uniquely coming from side affirmative or side government, the way in which we have to make economics more useful, which is something that Ella and Jaron explained, you can only do that when you are able to have a more complete picture and holistic approach of things, as opposed to like being at the mercy of these data and facts in the mathematical model. We think the second thing is, the way that side government shifts their case is that to some extent, they agree with us to that particular regard. They agree with us that these realities of women and gender minorities are important. But the question I have is, how exactly is their side going to take into account those particular metrics? Because we were clear and we told you that absent taking a look at the vague or subjective social science stuff, states and government institutions or people in power and those who have the money and authority are likely to deprioritize these people and focus on complete equality, meaning everyone gets equal of everything, or at worst, some sort of subjective metric of who has the power, who has the capacity to be able to do that. Meaning, on our side, we're able to get very specific economic policies that cater to the equitable realities of individuals, and that can only happen when you're able to prioritize the fact that these things, yes, have an objective answer, but the way it carries out in the real world is far different. Note how DLO and OpWhip abandoned their first speaker in the attempt to respond to us, but we don't think that they were fully suffice in terms of being able to take us out in terms of rebuttal or negative material, or being able to bolster their positive case. The last one is the buzzer beater idea from their side, which came quite late, about econometrics. We think econometrics is just a quantitative way to be able to describe a qualitative reality. Again, these things that you're measuring are based on what? Are based on actions of people, individuals, of society. That ties back to what we talked about micro and macro economics. It's not like these mathematical models get data out of thin air. It comes from people who feel emotions, who particularly make emotional decisions, like with their example of the stock market, with things like fear and greed, which is precisely why we need to take into account the social aspect. We are very proud to stand on side proposition. Thank you.